you were kind of using a lot of your defensive energy, but then you cleverly rotated your players. Mago came on, made a big difference, things like that. But at the same time, Wakey were very good in the first half. As you said, you rightly pick out the positional kicking was great, 40-20s were great. But yeah, for me, the quality drop off that they had from their bench was the primary issue why, for me, Wigan got on top in the second half. And Wigan were rightly comfortable winners in the end because they were clearly the better team. But at the same time, I do kind of agree that Wakey was slightly unlucky in the first half.
I mean, they had a try ruled out, didn't they, when they were on top, kind of field position-wise. But it was pretty clear that Matty Ashurst just stood in the line and stopped any defenders getting across. That was
interference. It was definitely interference. I have no problem with that. It looked too easy.
Yeah.
And often when that happens, there's some reason behind that. And quite rightly, it stopped foul getting across, didn't it? So, but yeah, who picked out Bateman? Wakey White. Yeah, Bateman was great.
He was a real threat in the second half when he moved into the centres. He seemed to enjoy the space that he was getting against, admittedly, a young opposing edge that he was up against with Hall and Murphy.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you just look pure quality of troops, Wigan had much more kind of quality, but at the same time, there's no reason to be ashamed by the kind of effort that Wakey put in. I thought they were very good, but as I say, just overawed by ultimately a better organised and slightly more decisive team, I would say.
And a team that have got this exciting cutting edge that we didn't have last year. The long range tries, we keep seeing them this year from Wigan, don't we? And we saw the good. Wigan hadn't even had a play of the ball in Wakefield's half when we scored that try, which was on about 15 minutes or 10 minutes or something actually into the game. And then I don't think we'd really had more than one or two attacking possessions when we scored the second try, which came from another long break. And if Hardacre had found a pass to French or Field, we would have scored from that long break as well. But he ended up stumbling into a tackle, and we scored a few plays later, which just gave us a chance to sing Tommy's name for that try assist he came up with. But the start of the second half, we scored another great try. I know it was ended with a nice bit of play by Bateman and Mago for the offload for Fields, always supporting, always there, always scoring. But I want to call out the offload that Mago did on his first carry in that set, because when you watch that, the Wakefield defenders were pulling at his arm, and he still managed to have the strength and power to get a propulsion of the ball offloaded to Field, who didn't cut through on that play, but certainly got Wigan on the front foot. And I just think Mago's is not playing long minutes, but when Wigan need to change it up, he's a different threat that we haven't had.
Yeah, he's as you say, he's offering you something completely different to your other props, and yeah.
20 prop in the last 5 years at Wigan as well.
And yeah, I think the way that coincided with who were the props who came on for Wakefield? Was it Whitbread and Batty? They just
Batty was trying, I think, to. Oh no! And he had a couple of quick play of the balls that got Wigan on the back foot, actually, Eddie Batty. But Whitbread, nah, he didn't. He was a passenger.
It's not a criticism of them per se. I'm just saying that they're not as good as the players that they replaced. And Wigan had something different on the bench, and ultimately, for me, that it led to the kind of Wakey couldn't maintain that pressure at that point, and then as soon as they couldn't do that, then Wigan were all over them. So that's how it transpired for me.
And a mention for the goal kicking. Jowett's was off the touchline, but Hardacre kicked everything, and they weren't all easy. So that was a
7 out of 7. That's good.
Positive. What the other thing I just wanted to call out about this game is I'm a bit iffy on the J Field songs that we've got going on, right? Because one of them's basically the Will Griggs on Fire song, so some Wigan fans are it's a bit too lax for me. But the other one is She's Electric, which is a bit too Saints with Coop for me. But the adaptation that the Wigan fans have done for the Field one is so that it goes, he's electric, now his hamstring is fully connected. He's done things we never expected, and his name's J Field.
See, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, yeah. But no, he's. I'll tell you what. Teams need to drop a line to Salford and find out how they managed to keep him quiet in that in the previous round, because he's pretty much the only team that's managed to do it in the last few weeks. That's for sure.
Yeah, I would say that there's now. Marshall didn't play in this game, so that's a bit of pace Wigan were missing. That hopefully we'll have back sooner than later. But French is another added thing, and he did have a couple of moments of explosiveness in the second half. Didn't quite finish them off. I don't think he's clearly not back to full fitness. Giving him a bit of a go at fullback means he could improve his sort of range and stamina for 15 minutes or so of the game he got put there. But ironically, he probably would have had a try if he'd have stayed where he was to start the game. But yeah, it means that Fields possibly there's a less chance of people putting attention on him, and also Field's first try came directly from defenders all watching where Field was going and all thinking about how do we stop Field, and they didn't think about the Ginger Pearl slicing through to make 40 metres and then put it on a plate for Field. So Wigan maybe have adapted slightly as well after that Salford game. I've seen us hit the second row runner a lot more than we were doing in that Salford game.
Fair enough.
And talking of J Field, he's signed a new 2-year deal with Wigan with an option for a 3rd year. So that's a good bit of business by Wigan. The way he started the season, leading the Man of Steel. What's he got? 12 tries so far in 9 games. It's a sensible thing for Wigan to move fast and tie him down.
Very sensible. It'll mean it might mean a nice little payout when he goes back to the NRL. Which
see, he feels to me like a player who will be at his best in Super League, not in the NRL.
That might be the case. That doesn't stop him signing, though, does it?
No, true. Semi-finals draw. Do you want to take us through the information on that?
Yes. So St Helens will play Wigan at 2:30 on BBC One, and then the big match will be Huddersfield against Hull KR at 5 o'clock on BBC Two. Yes. There you go.
Yeah, all at Elland Road in a month's time. So we'll look forward to that. My player of the week is the man whose hamstring's fully connected, and let's hope it stays that way for the next couple of years. It's J Field. Hat-trick. What a legend.
Fair enough.
Shit fucking facial hair, though.
Well, I can't have everything. I'm going to be really kind of prejudiced and show a bit of favouritism. I'm going to go for Elliot Minchella. I thought he was great, and it's nice to see a Bradford old boy lighting up Super League.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I agree. He was strong, particularly in that first half for Hull KR. Predictions. I went 4 out of 4. God, I wish I'd put my money on the bloody rugby this weekend rather than the horse racing. And Sarah went 2 out of 4.
You didn't bet on the National, did you? That's a mugs game, man.
Well, it wasn't. I didn't go big, mate. I didn't go big. Just a friendly little wager to for the interest value.
To pad the bookies' retirement fund, yeah.
That's it. Thanks everyone who got the fan views in. Particularly on those last 2 games, they had quite a few views in. Hopefully we'll get tons and tons next week. Will we not have any room to fill in any blubber next week, I think, because 2 rounds of games. So look out for the links to all of those popping up over next weekend. We're now going to move on to other results. Other results time, and we're going to start with the Women's Challenge Cup, where they had also reached the quarter-finals, and 3 pretty one-sided games, and then the one they chose for our league was definitely the correct choice, because it went right down to the wire. So it was Leeds 40, Warrington 0, St Helens 24, Huddersfield 0. I mean, competitive from Huddersfield, you got to say that.
Yeah. York
92, Alton Raidettes 2. Obviously, it was a round too far for the Raidettes there, but York go marching on. And Featherstone 12, Wigan 10 in the game that was on our league. I got back from Wakefield. I was tempted to drive across and watch this one too, but Emma wasn't happy with that concept because it meant that she wouldn't be able to have tea. And my Uncle Liam similarly didn't like the idea of being forced to stay out till gone 10 o'clock. So instead, I got home and watched it. From about 20 minutes in, I got in it just in time for Georgia Wilson's best impression of Jay Field for her try. That was, I think, in the try of the week contenders itself, actually.
Yes.
She's a great player, but Wigan didn't quite have enough against Fev. Fev were really strong in the second half. Wigan, up until the last 10 minutes, didn't really get a foothold in the second half, particularly. But then, 2 really good chances down Wigan's left side. A couple of the newer players in the Wigan setup this year were involved in them, but the goal line one-on-one tackle defence on 2 occasions in the last 5 minutes or so by the Fev right side defence was fantastic. You got to credit them for standing up strong in that position and toughing it out, really, and winning the game with the only score of the second half, which was a penalty kick.
Good stuff. And for that success, they managed to draw St Helens in the semi-finals. These ties are played on the 24th of April at Warrington. So it's St Helens versus Featherstone, and probably the closer match, York versus Leeds.
Yeah, BBC are going to be showing these online. They've confirmed the kickoff times now, so that York-Leeds game will be at 2:30 p.m, and then that Saints likely demolition of Featherstone will be at 5 p.m. We had the 1895 Cup playoff. Sheffield comprehensively seeing off Whitehaven 40 points to 6 in that game. Was that available to watch anywhere? I didn't see it if it was.
Me neither.
There was a catch-up game from, I think, round 4 in the Championship, Bradford-Barrow. This one sounds exciting. Barrow were able to win 23 points to 22. We got a fan viewing on this one.
Yeah, Jim Robinson says, no cohesion between forwards and backs, lack of leadership, predictable 5 drives and then high kick into corners, lack of discipline giving Barrow penalties and starving us of possession. Played well for 10 minutes. Yes, we did, and got it back to 22 apiece, and then managed to let our old nemesis back and score a drop goal.
Jared Samet.
Jared Samet always seems to always used to score or play well against us. Then we signed him to stop him doing that for a bit, and now he's back to playing well against us again. So yeah, but yeah, it's Barrow. They've been quality. They've probably been the surprise package of the Championship so far. So
definitely, yeah.
So yeah, they're fully deserving where they are in the league.
Well, they feature quite a bit in the news that we're going to be going through. So, do you want to start with the first story though that we've got there?
Yep. So, Championship leaders Featherstone have loaned halfback Dane Chisholm to London Broncos on an initial 2-week loan deal.
Lee have signed former NRL forward Kai O'Donnell for the rest of the 2022 season. The 23-year-old has made 4 NRL appearances for Canberra and Cronulla combined.
Wigan's Brazilian pop Ramon Silva, great name, has joined Widnes on a 2-week loan.
Barrow have signed centre Jack Croft from Wakefield on a